Hi everyone! Today my video is going to be talking about things that I don't do with my natural hair. So, number one, I would say the thing that I cannot do with my natural hair is finger detangling. I find that really difficult. There's something just about the practice of it that just does not vibe well with me. I understand the theory as to why you don't want to use combs or other tools in the hair, because they can cause a lot of mechanical damage to your hair strands and in turn cause a lot more breakage. So if you're someone that's looking to retain a lot of length in your hair, then it would make sense to do something like finger detangling, where you can actually feel the knots as you're going through your hair, and you can control just how aggressively you choose to separate your hair, or choose not to be aggressive when detangling the hair. So there is definitely reasons to why it would be a useful practice, but I don't particularly find it helpful for me. And I'm also extraordinarily impatient, so I find that I just get really frustrated with it really quickly, and I give up maybe 10-20 minutes into trying. So finger detangling definitely is not a go for me, as far as things people do for their natural hair that don't work for me. Number two, I would say one of the things that really doesn't work for me is overnight deep conditioning. I tried that once and my hair was a soggy, sopping mess in the morning afterwards, and it was just really gross. And I don't think that's really healthy to have your hair in a wet state for that long period of time. But I know a lot of people find that beneficial, and they find that their hair is that much more nourished. I'm not too sure the science behind why it would be that way, but I know that typically with most deep conditioners or any product that you purchase, it usually comes with care instructions, and it typically tells you the time frame of which you need to keep conditioner in your hair. And I figure it's formulated in a certain way that it should come into effect, or it should be working for your hair within that time frame that they give you. Otherwise, the product probably isn't going to be effective for you in the long run. And I just don't get the rationale as to why you'd have to keep something in overnight when it's typically formulated to work within a 10 to 20 minute time frame. So that's something else that I really can't do with my natural hair, is doing things overnight. Number three, I am not really into the co-washing or conditioner washing movement, which is essentially using conditioner in the form of shampoo for cleansing your hair and scalp. I get the rationale behind that as well. I know that for girls that have much curlier texture, whether it's very loose or very tightly coiled and kinky like my own hair, you'd want something that's a little bit more moisturizing. A lot of shampoos on the market these days are very stripping and have a lot of harsh cleansing agents that unfortunately strip your hair of the natural oils essential for you to keep the moisture level in the hair. I totally get that. I guess where I just have trouble with it is that I have a very sensitive scalp. So putting something that has a lot of fillers that are meant to be conditioning, that are supposed to coat the hair strands, which is that's from what I've learned that conditioner is supposed to do, and its main functionality is to coat the hair after it's been cleansed, and that there's certain compounds that are formulated in the conditioner that stick and adhere to the hair strand. And for me, that would be the last thing I would want on my scalp, is anything that is going to cling and stick to, and that would be that much harder to cleanse away and wash out. It would almost seem counterproductive to me. So in that sense, I typically don't like doing co-washing, and I just found that my scalp wasn't getting cleaned very well. I've done it maybe a handful of times, if that. And there's also the other argument that, okay, well then people are probably not doing conditioner washing the way they're supposed to. You're actually supposed to just coat the hair with the conditioner and then just gently cleanse the scalp with water. Even still, that doesn't work for me either. For me personally, I feel that I need an actual cleansing agent that's formulated specifically just for that, for my scalp. It's just a hot mess. any other way. So another point, or number 4, for what I can't really do with my natural hair, and I've mentioned this before and I'll probably continue to mention it, I cannot do all those flat twisting, cornrowing, French braiding styles. I just can't get it with my fingers, and just the whole intricacy and the movement of the hands. I just can't get it. I'm going to invest in purchasing, I think, a mannequin head with like some hair, and I'm just gonna actually start to practice the braiding patterns. It sounds really silly and it's probably not as serious as I'm making it out to be, but I think I really want to learn. I really want to learn, but right now I just can't do it, so I just don't. So the styles that I choose for my hair are pretty simplistic for the most part. Today, I actually kind of stepped outside of the box a bit and did a Bantu knot out, which I haven't done in a very long time. And the results are okay. I kind of like it. It's kind of poofy a little bit and has a little bit more bounce to it, and I like it. Another point, number 5, I think the obsession with coconut oil. I don't have the obsession with coconut oil like other naturals do. It's actually kind of interesting in that point, the coconut oil debate. Coconut oil has been obviously used for hundreds of years through many different cultures, and I find it so interesting that now in the Western society it's become such a huge thing, and I find it really fascinating that how many hair care product lines have now focused and zeroed in on coconut oil, because it's just expanded. It's become so popular in pop culture and in advertising, commercial. And I get it. It is a wonderful oil. I just don't find that it helps me with my hair if I use too much of it. I find that for pre-shampoo treatments or prepping the hair before you go into the shower, it is absolutely wonderful. It can definitely help in detangling. The properties of it help with the hair once you hit the shower, because there's something I believe called hydral fatigue, where the hair shaft tends to swell quite a bit once water enters the hair cortex, and I think coconut oil can help to decrease the amount of textural damage to the hair once it expands with water. So it can be really beneficial as far as hair treatment's concerned. But I find it's kind of hit or miss with me. If I use it in cooler months, as you know, coconut oil tends to solidify in cooler climates and cooler temperatures. So it'll have like a hard cast on the hair, so I don't really find it useful in the colder months. And then there's times where I find it almost too heavy if I use it to set my hair with moisturizer to keep the moisture intact. I find there's times where it almost feels like I've given myself a really intense protein treatment when I use coconut oil heavily, so I have to be really careful in the amount and the duration I use it. So it's a mixed bag, and I feel like there's kind of a shift in the natural hair community towards coconut oil now. Because it's become so popular, there's almost like that backlash, and I've seen a lot more videos coming out the woodwork in response to the coconut oil debate, and a lot more of the popular natural hair vloggers and YouTubers have discussed not using it anymore. So I guess I'm not that original in the sense that I don't really like it that much, but I'm not banning it out of my hair regimen completely, if that makes sense. I think one of the last points of one of the things I don't really do with my natural hair is I don't really do length checks. The way I judge my hair and how it's progressing is just the amount of time it takes to detangle. So I figure the less time it takes and the less single strand knots and tangles and matting I'm running into, that's the gauge I go by on how well my hair is doing. So if I'm not finding that and I'm finding my detangling session smoother, then I'm like thinking to myself, okay, I'm on the right track. However, if it's not like that, then I already know, okay, something's up. In addition to that, I find just in the volume of my hairstyles, if I notice that when I take down, for example, my 2-strand twists and they start to look a little bit fuller and have a little bit more body, then that's a good sign to me, where I think to myself, okay, you know what, I'm kind of on the right track. But as far as length retention, I do and would like to have longer hair, but I am not actively checking it. I don't grab the ruler stick or the, you know, the extension rulers or anything of that sort. I figure it's kind of like watching a kettle. You know, you're waiting for the water to boil and it just seems to be that much slower. I find the more that you look closely at how your hair is doing and wanting to really zero in on the amount of length that you have, the lot slower the process is. So I don't really find that I'm checking the length of my hair a lot. I would be really happy, again, if I had longer hair, mainly because I think it would open up a lot of doors as far as styling options. But then again, I really can't style my hair that well because I'm just not that talented, so who really knows? But yeah, I find the length checking phenomenon interesting as well. And I don't also blow dry my hair a lot and straighten my hair a lot either. So in a sense, I don't really get a true gauge of my hair's true length. So there's that as well. In any case, those are my main points of things that I do not really do with my natural hair. There's probably a lot more out there, but these are the ones that just came to me at the moment and are just right at the top of my head. Anyhow, I hope you all have a really great day. I hope everything is going well with you in your hair journey and life in general. And I hope to see you in the next video, okay? Take care. Bye.